I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
My name is Jojo Smollett. I'm his oldest brother. Okay. This is a duly elected judge in Cook County. He's supposed to be elected by the people, not just a stooge and a rubber stamp for the prosecutors. And I'm very disappointed.
My name is Jazz Smollett. I'm his older sister. First of all, I want to say my brother is innocent. My brother Jussie is innocent. This should not be a controversial statement because it is the absolute truth.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community.
What should be controversial is the entire miscarriage of justice this whole ordeal has been.
My name is Jockey Smollett. I'm Jussie's youngest brother. My brother does not deserve this. I watched my brother go from being a complete victim, which he still is. He was attacked, and he is now going to jail for being attacked. I saw my brother get locked up within 2 weeks for being attacked. Do you know how crazy that is? They want to say in that court that he's the reason why folks aren't going to report hate crimes. They're the reason why folks aren't going to report hate crimes.
Because none of you believed it.
None of y'all believed it. We have letters from the NAACP, President Derek Johnson himself. We have letters from Rainbow Push Coalition. We have letters from the Innocence Project, all saying that he should not be in jail. And they put him in jail. That judge chastised him. He chastised my brother. He does not deserve this. He was attacked. Do people never once think, even the folks who are naysayers, do you ever once think, what happens if he's telling the truth?
If he's telling the truth.
Do y'all ever think about how poorly you feel in that situation? He's in jail for 5 months. That is unacceptable. For being attacked. It is not his fault that folks are not going to believe survivors anymore. He is a survivor and he has been completely mistreated, and this has to stop.
You let that dark, narcissistic, selfish, and arrogant side come out, and you persisted with it for years on this case. I'm fashioning the following sentence.
Stay tuned for the sentencing of Jussie Smollett and the timeline of his elaborate hoax.
Don't ever forget what happened to that French actor. You know what I'm talking about? Jussie Smollett. He's a very famous French actor.
Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I want to give a real quick shout out to today's sponsor, Virtual Shield VPN. And the reason I promote it, guys, is because I use it every single day and I know that it works, and I've proven it in videos in the past. If you use the link in the description, you're going to get 50% off, and that's going to help you protect your identity, your activity, and your location anytime you're surfing on the net. That link is in the description below. Remember the psychological operation mainstream media ran in their headlong effort to spark a nationwide race war? The main character in this obviously concocted story was a famous French actor named Jussie Smollett.
Y'all never heard of Jussie Smollett?
And just to recap, on January 29th, 2019, Jussie claims that at 2 o'clock in the morning, he got a hankering for a foot-long Subway sandwich and decided that it was worth risking hypothermia and even death at the hands of a rare negative 40-degree polar vortex that had overtaken Chicago. With this singular focus to tame his hunger, Jussie bravely made his way out into the cold. It was at this time, after leaving the store with a sandwich in one hand and a cell phone in the other, that Jussie was mercilessly punched in the face by two assailants wearing Make America Great Again hats and shouting, "This is MAGA country," N-word.
He said, "This MAGA country," punches me right in the face. So I punched his ass back.
But that wasn't all. Somehow, defying the laws of chemistry and physics, the attackers managed to pour bleach on poor Jussie, all while tying a noose around his neck without him being aware of it.
Then it just stopped. And they ran off. And I saw where they ran. And the phone was in my pocket, but it had fallen out. And it was sitting there. And my manager was still on the phone. So I picked up the phone and I said, "Brandon," and he's like, "What's going on?" And I said, "I was just jumped." And then I look down and I see that there's a rope around my neck, which I obviously.
noticed it before?
No,
You didn't
because
see?
it was so fast. You know what I'm saying? It was so fast.
A noose, by the way, that was left in place until the police arrived nearly an hour later to take the report. And just as a side note, bleach freezes at 17 degrees Fahrenheit. Juicy's sub-run night was 57 degrees colder than that. Anyway, as could be easily predicted, there was an outpouring of support coming from Hollywood celebrities, political parasites, and social justice indoctrinated ingrates who actually believe everything they see on TV. Camel Toe Harris called it an attempted modern-day lynching. Cory Booker echoed Harris's over-the-top assessment by saying the vicious attack on actor Jussie Smollett was an attempted modern-day lynching. This also gave Booker an opportunity to talk about his anti-lynching bill, because, you know, a noose was involved in this high-profile crime. One of Juicy's co-stars on Empire said, "This despicable act only shamefully reveals how deeply the disease of hatred, inequality, racism, and discrimination continue to course through our country's veins." Even comedian Steve Harvey weighed in on what has now been determined by a judge as a hoax. This is about coming to the aid of another brother that has tasted the brutality of hatred and racism and bigotry. So, long story short, Juicy runs the mainstream media circuit, giving his sad account to all who would listen. It turns out, according to reports, Juicy enlisted the help of the Osendero brothers, writing them a $3,500 check, not only to buy the supplies they needed for the night, but also to play the role of the attackers, all while making the world think that he was a victim of a racially motivated hate crime. And for a lot of people, it worked, because they do believe everything TV tells them. And as a quick timeline after the January event that never took place, on March 26, 2019, Smollett was cleared of all charges. On March 27th, Smollett's lawyers said the case was closed. On March 29th, Juicy is ordered to pay for police overtime. By April 12th, though, the actor is sued by the city of Chicago. And on June 24th, 2019, news footage is released by the police. And they also released the video footage of the taxi dropping off the Osendero brothers on the night of the attack. By February 12, 2020, the city of Chicago brought up 6 new charges against Smollett of lying to the police. And on December 2021, the jury of 6 men and 6 women reaches its decision one day after deliberations begin. It finds that Smollett is guilty of 5 of the 6 counts of disorderly conduct, meaning that the last one had not been proven in court. And each count could potentially carry a penalty of up to 3 years in prison. And that brings us to March 11th, 2022. This entire dog and pony sideshow under the big top results in Cook County Judge James Lynn sentencing Juicy Smollett to 150 days in jail and 30 months probation with restitution and fines for felony disorderly conduct in the sum of $120,106.
You let that dark, narcissistic, selfish, and arrogant side come out, and you persisted with it for years on this case. I'm fashioning the following sentence, and here's your sentence. I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles. You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now. Do you have any questions?
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time, I am not suicidal.
Okay.
But through it all, and in spite of the evidence stacked against him, Juicy maintains his lie. And not only does Juicy continue to stand by his delusions, his entire family appears to be just as whacked as he is, trying to get people to continue to believe that he's innocent. And what's the moral of the story here? There are a lot of race-baiting, psychopathic Juicy Smollets in the world today. Don't be like Juicy. If you guys enjoyed these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. And don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. I'll see you in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.